Welcome to Prime Sports with me, Zakkour. Now, the Ghana Football Association have set September 6 as the start date for the 2024-25 Ghana Premier League season. The scheduled date will be exactly 82 days after the 2023-24 campaign concluded. The GFA also announced that August 15 as the deadline for the submission of strips to be used by clubs and August 17 for the submission of squad lists, date applicable to Women's Premier League and Division 1 League clubs. Summertex are the reigning champions after beating challengers Accra Lions to the title last season. The Timbers will aim to defend the trophy against the other 17 clubs in the league. Young Apostles, Basake Holy Stars and Vision FC are the newly promoted sides following the relegation of Girl Olympics for Fokotano and Real Tamil United. Well, meanwhile, General Secretary of the Association, Prosper Harris-Anado, has vowed to deal with culprits of match fixing in the upcoming season. Speaking at day 2 of the Afro Sports Summit in Accra, he emphasized that the association will spare no club, regardless of its history or level, if found to have engaged in any match manipulation activity.
We have a match review panel. So if you have any concern of any match, you report. What we don't want is somebody taking the pen and writing the whole essay about the referee is bad and cannot point to a particular minute the referee is bad, but then can go on and talk about general things. So we have a form. You state the minute, the incident that happened for you to conclude that was bad officiating. And then we can narrow it down. Because guess what? Even though we want the panel to look at all matches, they cannot. So if we can narrow it down to some areas, then they can look at those areas and take a decision. Now, the complaint procedure is the same for match manipulation and match fixing. We have the integrity hotline. It's on the GFA website. You can send anonymous WhatsApp, you can send email, or you can even call to leave a voice note. And then if you feel that sending it to us will not see the light of the day, we've provided the FIFA one. So there's no compulsion to report to GFA. You report to FIFA. It will be under because our integrity works with FIFA integrity.
Right.
And so the thing is that for every sport, the integrity of the game is far superior than any particular person of the game. So if FIFA can remove Sepp Blatter, who was the president of the game, to protect the integrity of football, then anybody in football can be removed. So if I have done something wrong, you can send a report against me, and I will be removed to protect the sanctity of the game. The game is far important than any single person or group of people. So let me repeat it. The GFA will not hesitate to remove any club, no matter your history, no matter your level, from the game to protect the game for the rest of the clubs.
Also speaking at the summit, President of the Professional Football Association of Ghana, Anthony Bafo, urged players to prioritize education as part of plans for life after football. According to him, such investment will offer them opportunities to pursue other careers after their playing days.
These players here, you have 2 who played at the World Cup. I never played at the World Cup. Jerry, I think he will tell his story later himself, missed a World Cup because of injury. But I want to say that there are much bigger players than I am. But my father also told me it's the end result which counts. You can start with driving a Porsche, a Mercedes, and everything. But can you have the same life after football? How do I get there? You have to prepare. And I tell you honestly, I didn't prepare. But I had something in my hand which was education. Education is the key. You see, nobody was born dumb. But sometimes it's economical circumstances which make you maybe cut let me say, the career of your academics short. But believe me, if you don't try, you will not know how it is. Sometimes we're scared of the computer. We're scared of this. No. Go, have courage, and learn. What I want to tell you is you can study. If you have the time to be on Instagram for 2 hours, you can dedicate 1 or 2 hours per week also to do online studies. And that's what I'm encouraging the footballers of today to do. You have that time. Don't wait until you finish. Do it during your career. So let me tell you, education, discipline, focus, perseverance was the key for me.
Now, former Chief Executive Officer of Heart of Oak, Harry Zakkour, has urged the club's leadership to entrust its management to younger administrators. Speaking on a yet-to-be-aired Prime Take interview with Muftan Abila, Zakkour criticized the current board for being too old to effectively manage the team and advised that the board should look to introducing some younger faces.
When I started winning, I think people say it's in Ga, Mukwaba. I heard it at the stadium and I said, no, I will go. I ran the club for 6 good years. There's nothing on the earth I never won. Top 4, Gala, everything I won. I won the top 4, everything. I won the league 6 times. I won the FA.
Yes, the Africa Super Cup.
I won the Super and the CAF Cup. So that is enough. That's what make me who I am today. Has made me who I am today. I'm so proud of Heart of Oak. So when I see House is in a difficult, it is my body.
You should have bought shares in the club.
They won't give it to me. Togbe will not give it to me. He never want to flow my shares. How much is my shares? $150,000 or $140,000, which I paid for the ticket and traveling. If you have put in that $140,000, $150,000 those days, 20 years in the bank, how much interest will you get by now? Would I be number 1 floating shares in the club? But I don't want to fight anybody. It's on document. It's in my box here, in my office. And they have it in house administration. Ashfoteta has everything. But what do I have to fight? To take cars to court? It would be a disgrace for Harry Zakkour to take us to court.
I come back and talk about, yes, I can understand that you don't want to take the club to court, but what happens to the club actually gets you pained.
You see, what I see is happening now.
So what is not happening right? What are they not doing right?
You see, in my time, you had a good board of directors. If I look at recently,
the current board is not good enough?
You need youth. You don't need old men to come and run a club. Would they have time to come and run a crowd of folk? Would they have time, those board at the moment who are there now? Are they going to the training ground or going to the camp to look after the boys? You know, the boys need attention. Footballers are like women. If you don't give them attention, how do you get results from them?
Young men, footballers are like women. So give your wives attention.
Yeah, hey. You don't give your wife attention at all. You leave the house in the morning and don't give chop money. And see what happens to you the next day in the morning.
You will not eat.
You will not sleep on that bed.
Well, their full interview will air tomorrow on the AM show at 7:10. So make a date. Also on Saturday, you can make a day on that. Well, former Black Stars midfielder Ajman Bedu has called on authorities to improve the state of pitches in the country. We're speaking to Joy Sports after the maiden edition of the Democracy Cup. The former Udinese player emphasized that improving the pitches will protect players and also improve the quality of performance?
Me personally, I'm tired. We have spoken about this thing even since when I was in the Blasters. Nothing have changed. The study is the same. Last year I was at Great Olympics. The same thing. And Patel was upped. What he said was right. But till when? We don't do renovations here on the pitches and a lot of things. Listen, we have a lot of quality in this country. If we have great pitches, these players that always we criticize, see them at their club side with good pitches. They are doing well. But when they come here, it's difficult for you to control the ball. Even when we were playing today, the ex-Blasters players, everybody was saying, hey, Charlie, nothing have changed, you, the same pitch. So please, when we are working on infrastructure, it's not only building, but the grass itself is important for the players because injury-wise, it's even dangerous. So we are pleading with our big men. Fortunately for us, today they were here. They saw the dressing rooms and they were on the pitch. I hope they have seen what I'm talking about and they will try and do something so that when the guys come, they can see a lot of quality in our boys.
Interesting. Well, let's turn attention to some European football and connect with Chris Harrington for some update on happenings in Europe. Chris is with our partner station DWTV in Berlin, Germany. Chris, good to have you. Let's talk about the Euros. They just ended the Euros. So the few players, players of African origin that impress you. You talk about Nico Williams, Lamine Yamal, and a few others who managed to send their countries far in the tournament. I mean, beyond Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, any other players of African descent who, impressed you in the tournament?
To put the spotlight on some young black footballers who stood out. I'm going to start with Spain's Lamine Yamal, the youngest to ever start a match when he was 16. He turned 17 during the tournament, led the tournament with assists, with 4 assists. There was even a viral photo going around of Yamal when he was months old, taking a picture next to Leo Messi. People believe maybe Leo Messi rubbed off on Yamal, who knows, but despite that, his future is extremely bright, as is Nico Williams, another one of Spain's black footballers. He's remarkable. He's played himself on the shopping list of a lot of major clubs around Europe. And I can look at the loser, Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham, he had the highest rating on the pitch during the final for England. Jude Bellingham has been exceptional. They just couldn't get it done, but I do think that winning is in his future if he gets the right supporting cast for the Three Lions. And a couple of other players I'd like to mention. Germany's Jamal Musiala had 3 goals in the tournament. He looked remarkable. Germany losing to Spain and Spain walking away as victors, I think gives a bit more credibility to the German side with their defeat to Spain, the winners. And I'll close with Breel Embolo for Switzerland. He had a stint with Schalke in the Bundesliga. He looked very good. He had some issues with injuries years ago, but it doesn't look to be affecting him these days. And Breel Embolo, among the other players I mentioned, are some of the many black footballers that stood out during the Euros. But I think one thing people will start paying attention to is how many exceptional black footballers participate for European countries. And I'm sure they're looking forward to the World Cup and then the following European Championship as well.
Let's talk about some of the, just some transfers that have been happening also in Europe. That we understand Bayern Munich, they've signed João Paulina now. And there's also some, exits that are expected in that Bayern Munich squad. What can you share with us?
Well, Bayern wanted João Paulina in 2023, but the deal fell through. Okay, so he's been a desirable at Bayern for quite some time. Thomas Tuchel couldn't get it done, but Paulina, he's happy. He's thrilled. One of the happiest days of my life. This is a dream come true for me. I want to enjoy success with Bayern and win titles. Sounds a lot like Harry Kane before Harry Kane signed up with Bayern. Let's hope Paulina and along with Olisa can bring some new blood to Bayern and help them recapture what they lost to Bayer Leverkusen last season. And the other bit of news really caught me off guard. It's regarding Bayern's Leroy Sané. Now, Leroy Sané is a former teammate of Vincent Kompany. They played together at Manchester City, and he was actually seen joking around with Kompany when Kompany first arrived at a training at Bayern. Well, he thought he was all good with the former teammate, but the reports are that Bayern are not happy with Sané's performance during the Euros, and now he is on the auction block. He is up for sale potentially. Bayern have expressed interest in the 22-year-old Nico Williams, like many other clubs, but the reported release clause is over 50 million. So I'm not sure what Bayern will do in this regard, but it just goes to show that Bayern Munich are really rebuilding, in terms of getting all of their old wingers out of there, bringing in a new crop of players and a new crop of talent, starting with Olisa. I hope they get Williams. That would be remarkable. And I think it would put them in a good position to remain competitive and possibly dethrone Bayer Leverkusen.
Interesting, Chris. Thanks very much for that update. We'll connect with you again tomorrow on Prime Sports. Well, that's all we've got for you on Prime Sports tonight. With me, Zakkour was back. We've got more stories for you on myjoyonline.com/sports. And we'll be back with more sports on the AM show tomorrow morning. Do have a wonderful evening.